90 to 99% of noobish investors get this wrong. They say the stock is cheap, it's $1. The stock is cheap, it's $11. The stock is expensive, it's $55. That is the wrong way to invest. I'm telling you, investment banks don't do that. I don't do that. Pros don't do that. What we do is we look at the price, we look at the common stock outstanding, the total common stock. For IBRX, it's $1 billion, near $1 billion. And we multiply the price times the common stock together to get a market cap. That market cap right now is $11 billion, signifying that IBRX is a main player in the market. However, if you find a stock that's $55 stock and you think that's expensive, without looking at the market cap, you are doing things wrong. So stay tuned. I'm going to break down in this short video how to look at market cap, how to make comparables when ascertaining the value of a biotech company. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's Wednesday, February 25th, and I'm going to do a greenfield investment learning video, but I'm going to use IBRX and I'm going to use SPRB, two investments of mine, to decipher the value. What's really going on? And what does high value mean? Well, if you have an $11 billion company like IBRX is, that means it's very high value. Doesn't matter what the price is. Price is $11. That could be cheap to you. You can do a lot of interesting things with an $11 billion cap. That means you're serious. In the eyes of banks, hedge funds, you are a serious company. However, if you have a company, say Spruce Bioscience, that's $58 a share, retail investors might say, well, that's too much for me. I can only get 10 shares of this stock for $580, but I can get more stock of IBRX for $580. That's the price value illusion. Actually, Spruce Bio is much cheaper than IBRX. Does that mean it's worse or does that mean it's less opportune? No. It just means the market isn't valuing Spruce as high as IBRX, despite Spruce having a higher price. Why is that? That is because Spruce Bio, again, if we use price times shares outstanding, which Spruce Bio has about 1.1 million shares outstanding, I just know that for a fact, the market cap is 62 million. And you say, well, macro go 62 million versus IBRX 11 billion. That's very low. Yeah, because Spruce Bio doesn't have the upside of IBRX. They're going to be able to treat very rare human diseases, but they won't be able to treat cancer. Cancer is a high market cap investment. Whereas to say a lot of people in the world are suffering and dying of cancer, we have an answer for that. That's going to yield high market cap. Spruce looks into degenerative diseases that are not commonly known. If they are not commonly known, not a lot of people are going to need that treatment, hence a smaller market cap, even though the price is higher. So price and value need to be separated. You cannot look at the price and say, oh, it's a good time to buy. You have to look at the market cap and then look at the market cap of competitors. What is Pfizer's market cap? What is Merck's market cap? Those are going to be much higher than IBRX, right? Because they're established companies. But IBRX is a cancer cure. It's now an $11 billion market cap. And the market is saying, this is serious business. It's got 1 billion shares outstanding. If it had 1 million shares outstanding like Spruce, well, it would be an $1,100 stock or even more, maybe $11,000 stock. I can't do the math in my head right now. But that's what I really wanted to say about that. And you see, like, if you're looking at, oh, we're going to go back to all-time highs. Well, no, not really. We don't have to go back to all-time price highs to get an all-time high value because IBRX in the past had a lot less shares outstanding. They floated shares to pay their bills. That's what biotechs have to do. They have to float shares to pay their clinical bills to get to commercialization. And then when they're at commercialization, they don't need to float stock anymore. Why? Because people are buying their technology. They're buying their cure, their treatment. So that pays the bills. But until we're at that stage, we have to float shares. That's the double-edged sword of a biotech. And let's look. A market cap So the market cap of IBRX, the peak high was March 2021 of 14.82 billion. That's where you see that big spike, 14.82 billion. Remember that number. That means a lot less shares were floated on the market because they had less bills to pay at the time. But as time goes on, they have to pay these bills to get Anktiva from clinical to commercial. It's just math, ladies and gentlemen. You have to do it. Okay? So they offered shares on the market, and the market punished them for that. The market's going to do that. Offered shares, and their price quickly dropped from $46.30 all the way back down in 2022 to $2. Wow, that is some sort of drop, right? So, yeah, their market cap dropped and their price dropped, but they had less shares on the market. So as we go through time, they're floating more and more shares to the market, and the market is digesting those, and the market isn't punishing them anymore by dropping the price. $1.90, I think, was the low, which was $1.9 billion market cap, right? Now they've issued all these shares, and Patrick Soon-Shiong owns most of them, 60% of them. And we are now mooning. And the long story short, guys, the market cap is like 11.3 billion with a stock price of 11.55. So if we go back in time and we look at the high market cap of 14.82 billion, we only need to get to $15 a share to get to an all-time high value of IBRX. In other words, $15 a share equates to here because there was less shares on the market. Do you guys get this? Do you understand this? If not, replay the video. Maybe it'll start to click. The more shares on the market, the harder it is to maintain a market cap. So you guys get caught in this price illusion of, oh, it's a penny stock at 174. No, it is not. It's not a penny stock is a $10 million cap. So if you still don't understand this, leave a like, leave a comment, ask a question, and also utilize Grok, because Grok will be, or ChatGPT, it's an information source for you to learn about price versus market cap. And then I can answer them in a more humanistic tone for you. Thank you very much. Thank you for tuning in. That will be the Greenfield show for today. We're using IBRX and my other holding, Spruce, which has a very low market cap. This can be viewed as a penny stock. This is a penny stock. 62 million cap is a penny stock. Yet its price is $58 because there's not many shares floated on the market. That's it. That's the conclusion. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.